Tonight, history comes home. Toronto at a standstill as Canada cheers the Raptors. From celebration to panic. What happened in the crowd?
So why won't the Liberals just admit that they don't want pipelines?
Will Ottawa greenlight the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion? What we know ahead of tomorrow's announcement.
Well, we call this our seawall.
And in depth on the impact of climate change.
You can insulate the whole north.
What it could cost you. From Canada's north to your backyard, this is The Nutshell. Good old Toronto has never looked quite like this, entirely brimming with joy. The downtown basically shut down, the city effectively giving itself the day off, because after all, today was the day the Raptors came home.
I got one question for you. Are you ready?
Estimates say this could be up to 2 million people, unified by one team and one feeling. This crowd brought a wide stretch of Toronto's downtown to a total standstill. The parade route brimming with so many, it took nearly 5 hours to travel less than 5 kilometers. The players soaked in a kind of moment they could only get here, only now.
It's amazing. Everybody's out. I don't believe nobody went into work today.
The Raptors now have the key to the city, a day named after them, a street.
For Raptors Way!
Toronto's mayor, Ontario's premier, opposition party leaders, the prime minister joined the jubilation fans across Canada have been feeling since the Raps Game 6 win last Thursday.
And what we saw here was the country coming together, and that's what we celebrate.
A celebration for the first Canadian team to win a major pro sport in 26 years.
You deserve this in the best way possible. Make some noise for your team, the greatest in the world.
Yet steps away, there was a different kind of noise. Gunfire left 4 people injured, something that just didn't fit with a day of celebration and, frankly, love. With so many police and paramedics nearby, that burst of violence was contained, the mood for many undimmed. And as Katie Nicholson shows us, that response also reveals something about the spirit of the day.
A camera trying to capture a moment of triumph unexpectedly caught a moment of terror. Shots fired in the middle of a packed crowd. Moments of panic and confusion. The crowd scatters. And first responders moved in.
A bunch of people start coming, and then people start falling down, and then they start going on top, and I just saw my wife on the ground, another friend, and start holding people, and we didn't know, and then we just run away.
We all kind of just boomed and ran. It was terrifying, it was surreal. It was like a stampede, like something out of a movie.
Police don't yet know how many were injured in that stampede, but they know 4 people have gunshot wounds.
None of them are life-threatening at this point in time, but I'm grateful that the resolve to the situation was as quick as it was, and we were able to continue on with the rest of the event.
With so many people jammed into a few city blocks, it could have been worse, much worse.
Like, why would anybody bring a weapon to an event like that, and then brings a weapon and uses it in the public space? It really, frankly, it's an outrageous offense, and it's an offense that victimizes the entire city.
But Toronto was in no mood to be victimized today. Calm prevailed, in large part thanks to some coaching from the stage.
I want to make sure everybody stays calm right now. Okay, please stay calm. I'm getting information that we're dealing with a situation that's not far from here. This is serious.
Today would not be about a shooting. Today would be about one thing.
This is about love, it's about rejoicing, it's about the Toronto Raptors, it's about you, the greatest fans in the world.
Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
So that was a dangerous diversion, but as he said there, remember what the day was about, the celebration. The Raptors may have made the celebration happen, but it was their fans who made it so powerful. Chris Glover shows us that experience.
They paraded in like royalty, arriving fashionably late.
I can't believe that we got that close. I'm overwhelmed.
And overwhelming crowds lining the street, 30 to 40 people deep, many taking wild risks to get the best vantage point.
This is great for the city. This is great for the country. Go Raptors, right?
Fans came from everywhere.
All the way from Windsor! All the way from Melbourne, Australia.
And no one seemed to mind waiting.
What do you think this place is going to look like and sound like as soon as the Raptors buses come through here?
Like a volcano is about to erupt.
Even the little ones practiced patience.
That's so exciting because I've never met them before. Well, I've never seen them in person.
Most turning this Monday into an extra long weekend.
Toronto deserves this. Let's go, baby.
For those who were working today, that basically stopped, and for long periods of time, so did the parade itself. So many people, the streets were clogged and the chants changed. Lee Banjabrio left Toronto years ago for Australia, but as the Raptors neared the trophy, he flew home.
I've tried to find words in the dictionary to describe this, but I've never felt this unity in our city, man, in our country.
Most haven't. It's been decades since the Blue Jays World Series parade in the 90s. Neera Gupta remembers it.
But I think today is better. It's really, it seems bigger, better, and I don't know, we're overjoyed.
As the superstars came out, all eyes were on one guy. With free agency around the corner, Kawhi Leonard has been offered condos and honorary bachelor degrees. Today, a houseplant. We'll see if the love and admiration of a nation is enough. Chris Glover, CBC News, Toronto.
And so on top of the buses, a celebration that really was drenched in champagne and a bit of gold. Players partied with their families, Raptors staff, and of course, Drake. Greg Ross rode right along with them and captured the vibe from right up top.
The city is amazing. Look at the turnout, and we ain't even halfway there. We've been on the boat or the bus for 2 hours.
It's not often you get this kind of access.
So we appreciate y'all.
To world champions.
What up, CBC News? We're across Canada right now.
After the laser focus it took to win the NBA title, the Raptors finally joined the celebration that Toronto and the country have been having.
Want to pop that on TV? We'll get
since Thursday's big win.
Popping champagne over here, so I got my wife over here too. So everybody's here, my sister, everybody's here.
Atop 5 double-decker buses, they joined fans in the streets and played ball with us too.
First of all, we got to ask about the new hairdos.
Combed it out a little bit, let my hair down, literally. Just relax a little bit and have some fun, man.
I'm gonna get right underneath Drake if I can. We're live on CBC.
With the greatest in the world, the champions.
Phones from the crowd captured the moment. The players were documenting it too.
Have you ever seen anything like this before in your life?
Oh man, this is a dream. I'm telling you right now, I'm living a dream right now.
The waving and toasting went on for hours longer than expected as the procession crawled through the streets of Toronto. But the delays didn't kill the energy, only extended the celebration.
We're, 3-4 hours late, but here we are.
Culminating on a stage near City Hall where players spoke to the crowd.
This group of guys, let me do what I do on the floor. Coach Nick, let me do what I do. And now we got a championship.
And the notoriously subdued MVP had the last laugh.
Ha, 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 ha.
Kawhi Leonard actually poking fun at himself today at this rally. Now, you may remember back to the beginning of the season, Kawhi Leonard's first press conference as a member of the Raptors. He had a bit of an awkward moment. He let out a nervous laugh that became an instant internet meme. Some people poking fun at him back then, but today it seemed like everybody was laughing with him.
Greg, only you could have crawled on top of those buses and been welcomed by those players. You've been with the team in Oakland and the crowd out there today. I know it's hard to pick one for you, but is there a standout moment for you this season?
Well, for me, it has to be Game 4 in Oakland. The Raptors just finished winning their third game of this series to take a 3-1 lead, and it seemed like there were thousands of fans that had made the trip from Canada to be there from all across the country, and they all gathered at one corner of the arena. They all started singing "Oh Canada" together. They started chanting "We the North." It was an incredible moment. They wouldn't leave. They were there for about 45 minutes after the game, and they were ready to come home and take the series at home. Didn't happen, but they went back to Oakland, obviously, and won it. But what a great moment that was, Adrian, after Game 4.
All right, Greg, thanks very much. You are hands down our MVP of the Raptor coverage. Thank you. We'll have more Raptors coverage ahead. First, look at this. A classy moment. Compliments of the Golden State Warriors. Don't forget, that's the team the Raptors beat, and that is a full-page ad in the Toronto Star congratulating the Raptors on making history. Now, if we can turn away from the Raptors' big day towards a pressing issue affecting all Canadians, one that Parliament has now declared a national climate emergency after a vote in the House of Commons late tonight. Canadians in overwhelming numbers now accept that our climate is changing with devastating, even deadly consequences. How we deal with that has gone from a concern to one of the top ballot box issues ahead of the federal election. Climate change simply impacts how we live, even where we live. From BC to Fort McMurray to central and Atlantic Canada, we can see it with our own eyes. More fires, more floods, more extreme weather. All this week, the National explores the impact of climate change in our backyard. So tonight we start as close to home as you can get. Canadians have seen the devastation from recent extreme flooding, but for some, it is so bad insurance companies do not want to take the risk anymore. Peter Armstrong explains what that could mean for you.
This isn't exactly waterfront property, and yet this North Toronto neighborhood is the new front line in the race to adapt to climate change.
So the water's like up to here?
It's up to here, then the glass in the basement door breaks.
Mike Mattos's basement was ruined when a freak storm flooded his neighborhood in 2013. That storm was just the first of many here, fundamentally changing how we think of flood risks.
You've got climate change with these sudden storms, you've got urbanization with the runoff issues, and you've got bad infrastructure. Well, the water came...
Instead of restoring what he lost, Mattos used insurance money and another $40,000 of his own to fortify his house.
Well, we call this our seawall.
He's built up a concrete barrier around his back door and installed a series of sump pumps. He has insurance, but like many here, Mattos wonders how long he'll remain insurable.
If I get flooded very often, they'll cancel it.
As both the severity and frequency of those storms rises, as outdated infrastructure decisions come home to roost, it's not just homeowners worried about all that water.
Climate change is massive. We protect 1 in 5 Canadians.
The CEO of one of Canada's biggest insurance companies has made climate change a company priority.
It is existential for our business.
So Intact is using data to drive change, funding one of Canada's biggest climate change research centers at the University of Waterloo. And the numbers aren't pretty. This kind of flooding is going to get worse. And yes, Brindamore admits some homes will become simply uninsurable.
If you're in a zone that gets flooded repeatedly, or where the odds of being flooded has increased meaningfully, it'll be hard to find insurance from private capitals.
For decades, our society debated whether these changes were actually happening, and even if they were, was anything going to change in our neighborhoods? Well, now, clearly, the risk is all too real, but it's no longer environmentalists saying that. It's a $16.5 billion insurance company that's in the business of risk, and right now, it says risk is booming.
So, Peter, that's just one of the difficult costs of climate change, but let's talk about the broader bill.
Right, and it's a bill that we're all going to have to pay, and it's a tab that's going up every single year, Adrian. I mean, 1983 to 2008, Canadian insurance companies paid out an average like $400 million. Now, though, with so many climate-related disasters, the average has gone up to $1.8 billion a year. The insurance industry expects the eastern half of the country to become 20% wetter and the western half of the country to become 20% drier. And as of the end of last month, we have vast swaths of the prairies that were deemed abnormally dry by the Ministry of Agriculture. That rising heat is helping to increase the frequency, the intensity, and the extent of forest fires in Canada. 2016's fire in Fort McMurray, the most expensive natural disaster in Canadian history. And as you can imagine, the annual bill then for fire prevention, that's been on a steady rise, now regularly topping $1 billion a year. And while one side of the country gets hotter and drier, the other is getting wetter. Bridges and water and wastewater systems, they were built to withstand these 100-year storms. They now strain as these storms hit every few years. And updating that infrastructure is going to cost billions, but there's no one single agency that is responsible.
The big thing here is the distributed nature of the risk. And the real issue that we struggle with in Greater Toronto area is that the risk is not localized to one place.
Okay, so that is frightening enough. But what I always think when I hear something like that is, what on earth are we supposed to do with that information?
That's the tricky part. And in a lot of ways, that's why CBC is doing this series now, is to try to not just unveil the data, but explore some of that. And those stories are coming up. But it is also important to say, knowing is important. Knowing that it's going to be consumers and businesses and governments at all levels to pick up the cost is the first step of then trying to figure out how on earth are we going to resolve some of this.
Okay, Peter, thanks very much.
You bet.
And still ahead on The National, how climate change is contributing to the slow erosion of a northern Canadian town.
Here it's really happening fast. We've got no time to waste.
What do you fear?
Well, I fear that my house is going to fall into the ocean.
Susan Ormiston explores the effects of Canada's thawing Arctic permafrost, how it is impacting communities and the vital Dempster Highway that connects them to the rest of the country. And Rosie, the debate on how to best manage climate change, that will be front and center in Ottawa tomorrow.
Yeah, in a different way, though, Adrian. The federal government is expected to announce whether the Trans Mountain expansion will, in fact, move ahead. The $7.4 billion project would triple the existing pipeline's capacity, but the debate has been polarizing and filled with passion. David Cochrane now on the pressure the government is under.
MPs can see the pressure on their way to work.
Oral questions.
They can hear it when they get there.
So why won't the Liberals just admit that they don't want pipelines and that Trans Mountain will never actually get built under their watch?
Conservatives want shovels in the ground. The NDP wants nails in a coffin.
Why don't Liberals side with Canadians tomorrow and cancel the Trans Mountain expansion project?
It shows the political squeeze the Liberals are facing as a government determined to fight climate change while also getting Alberta oil to market.
Well, Mr. Speaker, on the one hand, you have Conservatives, they don't get the environment. On the other hand, you have the NDP, they don't get the economy.
The government insists there's been no final decision, but for weeks now they've been stockpiling pipe along the construction route, a step to help restart the project quickly. It's been more than a year since the finance minister announced Canada was buying the pipeline, 10 months since a federal court stopped construction and ordered more consultations with Indigenous communities. All of that's been done. And while Bill Morneau isn't saying if it's been enough to satisfy the courts, government sources tell CBC News the plan is for a formal announcement of the decision one way or another to come after markets close on Tuesday. Another sign as to where this decision might be going is where Bill Morneau is going later this week. The finance minister is set to give an economic speech in Calgary on Wednesday, the day after this pipeline decision is due. Not the sort of trip a minister makes if he's about to disappoint the oil patch. David Cochrane, CBC News, Ottawa.
We'll have more news straight ahead, including this scene in Hong Kong after millions demonstrated in the streets this weekend.
And we'll have more on the crowds in Toronto who came out today to obviously celebrate the Raptors.
The top 10 list in alphabetical order: beavers, that broad-tailed rodent; bobcats, known for keen sight; dragons, the mythical winged monster; grizzlies, the brown bear common to parts of Canada; hogs, Toronto was once affectionately known as Hogtown; raptors, short form for a family of dinosaurs; velociraptor, if you're familiar with Jurassic Park; scorpions, those with the stinging tail; T-Rex, known as the king of the dinosaurs; tarantulas, large hairy tropical spiders; and terriers for dog lovers. The animal theme prevalent for a reason.
Mascots are a very important part of the whole thing, and the animal images in terms of T-shirts and hats have by far sold the most, with the Sharks, the Hornets, and the Bulls kind of being the leaders.
Are you worried about something that is trendy now may not be later?
I think that, to a large degree, you have to go with what the people want.
Considering the time factor involved, you'd think the team already has its name, but John Bitove denies that.
We're continuing to work with focus groups and NBA properties and everything else, and all 10 of these names are in the creative services department, where we're trying to figure out different logos and what and how each can be applied.
The look is as unique as the aim is simple. At home or away, the Raptors uniforms are designed for young fans who will grow up with the NBA expansion team.
It'll be a fresh look, a very exciting look. We want to be right on the cutting edge. We want to be classy, but yet we want some style to what we're doing.
I like it all. Well, I like the jersey because it has the raptor on it.
Here we've got the purple sweatshirt with the embroidered logo on it.
And that's exactly what the Raptors are banking on. Already 7th in NBA merchandise sales, those numbers are expected to jump in May when the uniforms hit the stores. More than a marketing tool, Isaiah Thomas says the look will help set the tone for the team.
We want people who will have a certain amount of character and toughness about them, but most important of all, we want to put together a group of individuals whose chemistry will be conducive to a winning atmosphere.
The Raptors opened the 1995 exhibition schedule on the road in Halifax. But if Isaiah gets his way, fans in Toronto will be rewarded for their patience, for when it really counts.
Maybe we can convince the league into making sure that we have our home opener here at home as opposed to being on the road. But as long as the country of Canada gets to see the product that we're putting out, I'm happy with that.
They're my new stretch denim jeans, and they are a pleasure to wear.
American heiress and fashion icon Gloria Vanderbilt has died following a battle with advanced stomach cancer. Her son, CNN host Anderson Cooper, delivered the news in a statement this morning saying, in part, Gloria Vanderbilt was an extraordinary woman who loved life and lived it on her own terms. She was a painter, a writer, and designer, but also a remarkable mother, wife, and friend. Vanderbilt was 95. Former Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi died today. He collapsed from a heart attack in a Cairo courtroom. Morsi rose to office in Egypt's first free elections in 2012. He was ousted a year later by the country's military following mass protests against the Muslim Brotherhood. The crowds no longer number in the millions, but anger in Hong Kong still simmering over a controversial extradition bill now in limbo. Demonstrators want it killed and Hong Kong's leader, Carrie Lam, gone. As Sasha Petrusik reports, their challenge now, how to achieve all that while they still have momentum.
Before dawn Monday morning, Hong Kong roads were blocked again, but because of a determined few rather than a mass of thousands. Union members showing their support, student protesters sleeping off an all-night vigil, and from the financial towers nearby, one hedge fund manager.
Hong Kong government should really think independently, just not listen to Beijing.
It was a far cry from Sunday's mass protest, when as many as 2 million people jammed Hong Kong's core, demanding that its Chinese-backed government abandon plans for a law that would allow extraditions to mainland China. A pledge to suspend those plans from Hong Kong's leader isn't good enough, and neither is an apology for how she handled the controversy.
I think that it is not all about apologizing anymore. It is about you have to make the concession of the things that we are asking for.
Some do worry whether they'll be able to keep up the protests.
I think the culture of protest is in Hong Kong is just like you come out and walk and then finish. Yeah, so no further action. And maybe like after 1 week they already forgot about this issue.
Or it seems that way. 2 million people, a quarter of Hong Kong's population, is a lot of momentum. Now the challenge for the democracy movement is how to keep up the pressure, to channel all the anger and frustration of the past week into something the government can't ignore or appease. It's not yet clear how that's going to happen. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Hong Kong.
Up next on The National, in Canada's Arctic, climate change is shifting the ground below and threatening the homes and buildings above.
Joe, standing here, you can even see it's kind of sloping.
Right. Yes, I'd say probably it's on a downward slope of 3 to 4 inches minimum, maybe even more.
Wow.
Yeah. I could roll a marble here.
The cost of living went up again quite dramatically last month. The Consumer Price Index rose by 0.9%. That represents an annual inflation rate of 9.2%. As Ken Colby reports, the biggest increases came in the cost of meat and clothing.
According to the survey, beef prices have gone up almost 56% in the last year. Having a meat, poultry, or fish portion on your dinner plate costs you 34% more. Food prices in general are 16% higher than they were a year ago, but they've been rising that fast for the last 2 years, and no one should be surprised. The shocker is clothing prices. For the last 2 years, they've increased only moderately, but in the last month, they've shot up. At today's rate, they'd increase 13% in a year. The cheap Canadian dollar has made imports more expensive, and Canadian textile companies are using the opportunity to raise their prices. Ed Broadbent wants the government to stop it.
Considering that the Canadian clothing manufacturers want something done so that women and children's clothing, for example, can come down to a reasonable level, when is the minister going to take some action that will specifically cause some rollbacks in unjustified price increases in these areas, which have been brought to his attention?
It's a matter of evidence, and it's a matter of inquiry, and it's a matter of investigation, and I can assure him that we took the representations very seriously and are continuing to look into the question.
The government says it expects inflation to begin slowing down later this year, but it's an expectation Canadians have heard before. We've had controls and sales tax cuts and energy price freezes, but the harsh reality remains that, except for a brief respite in 1976, inflation has been 9% or worse in this country for the past 5 years. Ken Colby, CBC News, Ottawa.
There's at least one tactic that often works when it comes to fighting inflation. Michael Vaughan reports from Brampton, Ontario.
On an ordinary street in an ordinary town, there's a group of women angry about food prices. And their anger is spreading across the country. They've called themselves Women Against Rising Prices. The kitchen becomes the war room as they plot out a strategy to shake up the food industry. Their weapon? Boycott. And each week for 4 weeks, they've published and publicized their own hit list.
The boycott list is as follows. All canned fruit drinks, and that's drinks, not juices. All cold cuts, butter, cottage cheese, all jellies and jams, instant coffee, paper towels, and apples.
Why these products and not all the other ones that are in the supermarkets?
Most of these products have increased in price tremendously in the last little while.
We really don't care the product. It's just so that people will realize that they have the power. When they're shopping, they have the power.
And we're doing it, and that's all there is to it. We don't care where the blame lies, whosever fault it is, whether it's conglomerates, whether it's boards, whatever it is, whosever fault it is, we don't care. We're saying we pay our money to the supermarket. You, supermarket, can in turn go back and complain to or correct whatever situation you know about. We're saying to you right now, we've had enough. Enough's enough, that's it.
People keep asking us why it's women against rising prices. The men never thought of it. The men did not come up with this idea, it was women.
The whole circumpolar north is sitting on permafrost, so I don't know what you do. You can't insulate the whole north.
As Canada's permafrost continues to thaw, it is affecting Arctic communities and the long ribbon of roadway connecting them to the rest of the country, and that has many who live there deeply concerned. As part of our CBC News series In Our Backyard, the National Susan Ormiston traveled into northern Canada to see what climate change means for towns and the crucial infrastructure that keeps them going. And as she discovered, while the effects might manifest slowly, they are quite literally moving the ground beneath people's feet.
Hidden inside an historic church above the Arctic Circle is a story of our warming climate.
Be careful, watch your step. Low ceiling as well, and dark.
Parishioner Joe Lavoie offered to show us what you normally can't see.
I've been here for over 30 years and never seen a problem until these last 5 years. Of course, you can see all the poles that have fallen down. And if you look to that side, you see the gap underneath the blocking and the post.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We've blocked and reblocked several times. One time it was a funeral service going on. There was approximately 200 people attending, and the floor was shaking pretty bad. And so after the service, I asked the father if we should maybe come take a look. And about 50% of these posts were down.
Holy cow.
Right.
The Igloo Church, as it's called, was built on top of thick layers of earth and solid ice. But that concealed permafrost is now thawing, threatening the church's foundation. Joe, standing here, you can even see it's kind of sloping.
Right. Yes, I'd say probably it's on a downward slope of 3 to 4 inches minimum, maybe even more.
Wow.
Yeah. And I could roll a marble here.
You sure don't want it to collapse.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that for sure, that would be a real tragedy.
The Inuvialuit have been living on ice for centuries, but the town Inuvik was only incorporated in 1961. Tradition is baked into their culture, just like the certainty of 24-hour sunlight in summer and a dark, frozen landscape in winter. But ask anyone here, the Western Arctic is warming faster than anywhere else in Canada, mean temperatures rising a staggering 3.5 degrees over 50 years. Most of the Western Arctic is underpinned by icy permafrost, and as it degrades, it's causing all kinds of challenges.
A big river.
The climate is not just warmer here, it's wetter. We're motoring up a branch of the Mackenzie River, which in winter is an ice highway. Chris Byrne has been coming up here for 36 years. He's professor of geography at Carleton University and works with the Aurora Research Institute. Byrne wanted to show us the dramatic changes in the Caribou Hills at an old camp called Reindeer Station.
Walking the plank, man.
Yep.
First, we have to navigate the landing.
There's about 90 meters of permafrost below us here.
And some of that is thawing.
The top of that is thawing.
Years ago, this was a Hudson's Bay trading post, solidly built like everything else on buried ice. But that scar in the hill was recently carved by a landslide. After heavy rain at the end of a summer, the warming earth simply gave way.
This is basically where the landslide finished.
And this wasn't the only one that night?
No. There's 87 other landslides from that night in about 17 kilometers of hillside. So it was a phenomenal event.
This is a remote retreat now. No one lives here permanently, but the changing geography is the same in populated areas.
We have to figure out what we're going to do in the future. And we have no basis to believe that this will not continue. It won't stop now. So then, when we make an investment in a building which is meant to last 50 years, if in 15 years it's no good, we've wasted a huge amount of resources.
Inuvik is adapting. An above-ground sewer system is being retrofitted. Flexible space frames prop up some housing, but it is patchwork. Back in the 60s, when Inuvik was built, permafrost seemed a more reliable, solid core.
We said we'd open roads into the north.
It was Prime Minister John Diefenbaker's dream.
Resources should be made available for the people of Canada.
A northern road linking southern Canada to the Arctic, a road to resources. The Dempster Highway finally opened in 1979, a construction marvel, over 700 kilometers of tundra. But every year, it costs more to upgrade the highway. Climate change over the last 15 years has pushed up costs by the millions.
It's kind of like the lifeblood of the Western Arctic.
Steve Cookell is with the Northwest Territories Geological Survey. He's been up and down the Dempster for a decade.
Yeah, the Dempster Highway is built pretty much entirely over permafrost terrain. So the frozen ground beneath the road embankment provides a foundation for the embankment, and the actual road itself has a frozen core.
But this plateau is warmer and wetter now, and the highway is showing fatigue. So clearly, Steve, the Dempster is falling off here. There's a big hole in the side of the road.
Yeah, this is a location. We have a slope where water is collecting along the side of the road, and the combination of warming climate, the impact of the road, and the moisture is causing the underlying ice-rich permafrost to thaw. And as that ice-rich permafrost thaws, the ground consolidates or settles proportional to how much ice there is in the ground. And this is one of the consequences of that.
Now, you told me that across here, this happened on the other side of the road first.
Yes.
Steve explains that load after load of gravel has been dumped into this subsidence just to keep the highway open, but it keeps sliding off, leading to a key question. Do we fix it, or do we start to adapt differently?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really interesting and important discussion. It really emphasizes or highlights the need to start to think innovatively about the solutions, because these types of phenomena are going to become more and more commonplace.
He's not finished our permafrost lesson. A few kilometers down the road, we clamber up to a high ridge.
This whole area here has developed over the last couple of years, which is very, very rapid.
The head wall here has been carved out, exposing a wide band of ice.
So the bottom 5 to 8 meters is all ice.
So that's what's thawing.
That is exactly what's thawing, yeah.
Constant thawing is creating a gully of mud, pushing toward the Dempster Highway, which in time could compromise the road.
We've had this debris tongue that's grown about 150 meters towards the road. That's developed in the last 2 years.
Canada's permafrost problem has become a hot research environment. A recent Senate report identified northern infrastructure as an urgent priority. The challenge is luring international scientists and students, like this university team, on a field trip to study the ice under the tundra. Traveling further north on a new highway, we head towards Tuktoyaktuk on the Beaufort Sea. I made it to Tuk as a traveler's badge of honor, but this hamlet has become a climate change crucible.
Going forward, we're just not building anywhere near the coast anymore. We're slowly moving our infrastructure inland.
Mervyn Gruben, the mayor of Tuk, grew up here.
But it's there. See all the ice, the land that's melting?
Out on the point, Gruben's ancestors are buried now perilously close to the sea.
My grandfather Edgar, my grandmother Mary, she died young.
The cemetery's vulnerable. With more erosion, it could fall into the ocean. But moving graves is a last resort.
I don't know. Like where the whole circumpolar north is sitting on permafrost, so I don't know what you do. You can't insulate the whole north.
The dual threats of rising seas and thawing permafrost are undeniable to Sandy Adam, a homeowner in Tuck.
You could see the land eroding.
His house is exposed right near the rocky edge. In 50 years, he's watched that coast steadily erode.
How far out did the shoreline go?
Right to about the middle of the ocean. I mean, where the open water is. That's how far the land used to be. Here, it's really happening fast. We've got no time to waste.
What do you fear?
Well, I fear that my house can fall into the ocean.
His house is on an emergency list to be moved inland. 5 others already have.
I guess they gotta move me. Gotta move me where I don't want to go, but can't be helped.
Why don't you want to go?
I'm used to living at the point. And the cool air comes from the ocean when it's summertime, and you don't get as much bugs as inland. And it's better out here.
Coastal erosion could cost Tuktoyaktuk up to $50 million, a budget it doesn't have.
Hello, here we are. We made it to Tuck.
Environment Minister Catherine McKenna, on a recent trip to Tuck, was pressed to increase support for climate change costs.
Welcome to Tuck.
Thank you.
Mayor Gruben.
Oh, hey, Mayor. How you doing?
So one of the things they say here is, look, we've studied this enough. We've lived it. We can't afford the infrastructure changes that are happening in the Arctic.
Well, I mean, we've already made investments and continue to make investments, but we are going to have to rethink how we build things and how do we build resilient infrastructure. We're going to need to work together and also really try to imagine what the future is going to be like so that, you know, that communities are resilient to the impacts of climate change.
In this land of pingos and permafrost, change has already come. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Tuktoyaktuk.
CBC News will have continuing coverage throughout the week and tomorrow in our special climate change series, In Our Backyard, what it means if Canada misses its Paris Agreement targets.
It'd either have to continue or increase the stringency for the policy that is already implemented, or it'd have to implement new policies.
Connie Walker looks at the cost and the fallout of not reducing greenhouse gases and whether carbon taxes really can make a difference. We will have that tomorrow night on The National, but first, we'll take you back inside the crowds who came out to thank Canada's champions today, and the Raptors wasted no time repaying the favor. Take a listen as we go to break.
At the end of the day, y'all always gonna be my brothers. Always. And we are now world champs together.
I just truly want to say that you guys should really enjoy this moment. We delivered. Now it's your turn to deliver for us. Enjoy it, man.
I want you to turn to somebody that you don't know, and I want you to give them a hug. I want you to tell them congratulations, because we're from the greatest city in the world, and we are the NBA 2019 champions of the world.
Knock, knock. Giza dada. Giza daba debe.
Nadia, do you think you'll compete in the 1980 Olympics? Canadian television,
This is Robin Williams.
Oh, excuse me. We're at the back.
It's also, among other things, a creature from outer space who will appear on Happy Days on February 28th. Is that right?
Yeah, that was fun. They were wonderful people.
Because even you bet, we have come to your planet looking for virgins. Oh, no luck here.
That was a trip. You had to talk like that for 30 minutes. And this is how an alien sits. Oh, sit down.
Buzzy bet.
Oh, great view, eh?
Midday with Peter Downey and Valerie Pringle.
You were very much, Hollywood star into the drug scene and all those other things. And then you have a baby and you go, son of a gun. This is what life is all about. But is that really what happened? Did the light bulb go off?
It goes off because you realize you can't come home at 5 o'clock in the morning going, hey, you want to play with Dad? And you can't come home drunk. And you can't be stoned with a kid because they have toys that really mess you up. You're stoned, you're going, what is it? Oh, it's a transformer. Okay, it's a truck. It's a robot. What is it? You'll wake up covered in Smurfs.
Wake up, Dad.
Get them off, man, get them off. It'd be a rough day. It really does sober you up immediately, I think. And you don't need drugs when you have a kid. You're awake, you're paranoid, you smell bad. It's the same thing.
And normally American presidents have Secret Service. Yeah. I saw this kid go to hit Jean Chrétien, and he just went, he knocked this kid out. And it was like, I don't need Secret Service. I can take care of myself.
Now, Mr. Williams is wearing the camouflage here, much like the camouflage I think our Canadian military would have to wear in snow maneuvers. Where'd you get this?
Well, I bought it off an old Canadian military person. He said, I'm going off to Southeast Asia. I won't be needing this for a brief moment, but he went off there with the dart, and he gave me this before he left.
Have you met the Canadian military?
There's 3 guys in the Navy, and you got the 1 Marine, and you have the sniper who set the record in Afghanistan.
We're here on the Christian Fellowship Hour. Please help. Mascara is a terrible thing to waste. Here at the Tammy Baker Center, we help ladies with too much. It's running. It'll go away. It's all right now. Stay with me, child. Believe in the power of Revlon. You know it now.
I'd like to leave you with a quick song now. This is off my first album. It's called The Hormone Blues.
Yeah. Went to bed last night with hair upon my chest.
I woke up this morning with a couple of beautiful breasts,
I'm changing.
I'm Jamie Poisson. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, Connie Walker explains how different policy scenarios might help Canada reduce emissions enough to reach its Paris climate targets. You can download Front Burner wherever you get your podcasts.
I think it's about the North, and it's also about the we. I mean, you look at every color and every creed and race represented, every age, young people, old people. It's a real moment. It feels really special. It feels like this is for all of us, and that's the beauty of it.
That is the eloquent reaction from one of the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, who came to downtown Toronto to celebrate the Raptors' victory. Now, some came because they just loved the game, their city, their country, because they wanted to make something surreal, real, something simple, something sublime. That got Nick Purdon thinking about the meaning of a parade, and that took him into the thick of one.
If you go back through history, we've had parades for all kinds of things. To show off military power, to commemorate war victories. There was one when we put a man on the moon. Now this one celebrates a sports team. But I wonder, is that what this parade is really about?
What do you think we really won by winning the championship?
I think we won a sense of pride for our city. I think we definitely won some more respect.
Do you guys feel like you did anything yourselves to help the team win?
We went to every bar, we yelled and screamed until our lungs were gone every night.
Okay, so the bus is about an hour away, the team is about an hour away, the crowd is still building, expectations are building. Little man, how you feeling?
Amazing. I'm excited for the Raptors parade.
This doesn't seem to be just about basketball, right?
Nah, it's about everything. It's just about the culture, you know, the team, the city, bringing everyone together.
What do you think we really won
when the Raptors won the NBA championship?
Life-changing experience, man. I've been waiting for this all my life.
How
I'm
so?
glad-
How does it change?
How does it change? I'm here, I'm happy. I've never been this happy at this time in my damn life.
And how does that feel for you, dude?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm out here smoking legal. I'm good.
We not champs! We not champs! Is this really about basketball?
It's about the city, it's about the country. I don't know what it's about really, though.
No, eh? Let me help. Happiness, respect. And it seems there's also people here doing research. So, really?
Yeah. Next year. This year's Raptors, next year's Leafs.
Go
Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go!
There's actually a pretty serious reason a lot of people are here as well. What's important about the parade for you guys?
We're here for Kawhi. Kawhi to stay. Kawhi not!
Why not?
Why not?
Kawhi, please stay. And we need you.
Do you think you guys have the power to change his mind or to convince him where other people don't? Hey, the parade, they're almost here. They're almost here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, brother. To see all these people out here, all nationals, no complexion, just pretty Canadian people. Love yourselves, Toronto. We never thought it could be done. We, the North, we did it.
Who's this parade for?
For everyone. Toronto, the Raptors, the fans, Canada. Who's it not for? Except for the Warriors. It's not for the Warriors.
And then it happens. The Raptors arrive. So that's it. That was the last bus. Marcus all just chugged a beer. The fans start to clear out. The parade may seem over, but not for these guys. What do you think the Raptors got out of seeing everybody here today? The team?
Man, this city is diversity. This city is love.
And unity.
And they will never forget. There's no team that will come here that will ever forget.
And how are
They
you
love
feeling in here?
I'm feeling love. All cultures. Look at this, man. All of this. Look at this. Look at this, man. That's what I feel. I love it. I love it.
And really, that's it. Simple. Sometimes a parade is just about celebrating a feeling. Nick Purdon, CBC News, Toronto.
When we come back, tonight's moment, I wonder what that will be. But first, this was one of the stranger moments today. That is Air Drake. Drake's personal Boeing 767 circling the city, doing victory laps in the sky. We got a glimpse inside the plane last week when Drake posted this video celebrating inside, of course, with some of the Raptors.
Proposition that perhaps it is would be wise to use less inflammatory terms than bandits when you talk of a bunch of people who have the lives of two men in their hands.
You don't think they're bandits?
Well, regardless of what I don't think I'd be inclined to wave a red flag in their face if they held two of my friends or colleagues with guns at their heads.
Well, first of all, I didn't call them bandits. I call the people who were in jail now bandits, who had been tried before the law and condemned to a prison term. And I said that you people should stop calling them political prisoners. They're not political prisoners. They're outlaws. They're criminal prisoners. They're not political prisoners. And they're bandits. That's why they're in jail.
But with your army troops, you seem to be combating them as almost as though it is a war. And if it is a war, is anything that they say have validity?
Don't be silly. We're not combating them as a war, but we're using some of the army as peace agents in order that the police be more free to do their job as policemen and not spend their time guarding your friends against some form of kidnapping.
But you said earlier that you protect them in this way, but you have said before that this kind of violence, what you're fighting here, the kind of violence of the FLQ, can lead to a police state.
Sure. Well, that's what you're complaining about, isn't it?
Well, yes, but surely that decision is yours, not the FLQ's.
Yeah, but I've asked you what your own logic is. It's to let them abduct anybody, not give any protection to anyone, call off the police. That seems to be your position.
Not call off the police. Surely the police's job is to catch people who break the law.
Yeah, but not to give protection to those citizens who might be blackmailed for one reason or another.
Which must be half the population of the country in one way or another.
I explain it badly, I think, but what you're talking about, to me, is choices.
Yeah.
And my choice is to live in a society that is free and democratic, which means that you don't have people with guns running around in it.
All right,
And one of the things I have to give up for that choice is the fact that people like you may be kidnapped.
Sure.
Sir, if you had to right now...
But this isn't my choice, obviously. You know, I think it's more important to get rid of those who are committing violence against the total society and those who are trying to run the government through a parallel power by establishing their authority by kidnapping and blackmail. And I think it's our duty as a government to protect government officials and important people in our society against being used as tools in this blackmail. Now, you don't agree to this, but I'm sure that, once again, with hindsight, you would have probably found it preferable if Mr. Cross and Mr. Laporte had been protected from kidnapping, which they weren't, because the steps we're taking now weren't taken. But even with your hindsight, I don't see how you can deny that.
No, I still go back to the choice that you have to make in the kind of society that you live in.
Well, there's a lot of bleeding hearts around who just don't like to see people with helmets and guns. All I can say is go on and bleed, but it's more important to keep law and order in this society than to be worried about weak-kneed people who don't like the looks of a soldier.
At any cost? At any cost? How far would you go with that? How far would you extend that?
Well, just watch me.
At reducing civil liberties? To that extent?
To what extent?
Well, if you extend this and you say, okay, you're going to do anything to protect them, this include wiretapping, reducing other civil liberties in some ways?
Yes, I think the society must take every means at its disposal to defend itself against the emergence of a parallel power which defies the elected power in this country, and I think that goes to any distance. So long as there's a power in here which is challenging the elected representative of the people, I think that power must be stopped. And I think it's only, I repeat.
Do you really think the legend is true about a secret lab under this room?
Everywhere you looked in Toronto today, it was a sea of red. An estimated 2 million people flooded the streets to cheer on the Raptors, Canada's NBA champions. We can't say that enough. I don't know about you, Rosie. I was born and raised in this city. I thought I'd seen every angle of it. The pictures today, I've never seen a city like this, and I can't stop thinking that until those last moments, you know, when the gunfire started, everything I was thinking was, I cannot believe how kind people are being to each other. It was totally striking.
So I was watching it on TV, as a lot of Canadians were, obviously, and I, at times, just found like a giant grin on my face. Yeah. So sitting sort of like a crazy person in the newsroom, just smiling, because it really was, as you said, with the exception of that last moment, a great day. And I know you'll get to it, but man, as a Drake fan, I also enjoyed every moment of seeing him pretend to be a player too.
Yeah, you know he wants to be. Listen, this has really been a remarkable day filled with a whole bunch of moments. So what we thought we'd do tonight is leave you simply with those moments, let them speak for themselves. Have a really good night and a bit of a...
There's no words for it, man. Get the background of the crowd real quick, though. The crowd is crazy. Canada, this one was for y'all.
We never seen nothing like this. This crowd is mad crazy.
I think it was Bono who said the world needs more Canada. The world just got it.
Enjoy this moment.
and have fun with it. Ha 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 ha.